I know that I'm going to hear it all in the comments about how it's homage to the original film. All I have to say is that I don't really feel like this is the way we need to pay homage to the original film.
Folks, 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 let me tell you something. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. We are your Back-Asswards boys. I'm Kyle.
I'm Arden, and this week we watched the 2013 Evil Dead re-release, reboot, and tonight we are going to be putting it up against the internet's most scientifically accurate horror movie rating scale.
Hold on to your asses, because things are about to get backwards. Landing somewhere between a sequel and a remake, Evil Dead 2013 stands as a fantastic and faithful follow-up to the original film. Fede Alvarez brought together a team that, despite his video effects background, focused on practical effects at every possible moment, leading to a horror movie where you feel every single slice and stab. The cast brings some pretty good acting chops to the table where needed, and a spine-tingling score, combined with about 70,000, yes, you heard that right, gallons of fake blood, led to one of the most terrifying films you will ever experience.
And I feel like now would just be a really good time to let you folks know, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, we are going to be spoiling this movie tonight. So if you have not seen Evil Dead 2013, go watch it and then come back. But as always, folks, we will be starting with the directing of this film. And the directing in this movie was great. It was damn near phenomenal, I would say. Fede Alvarez clearly had a vision and did a great job accomplishing that vision. It was actually really interesting. We were watching a behind the scenes video for this movie, and the way that he spoke about this story was really interesting, saying that the simplicity of this story not only deepens the horror of the situation, but it also deepens our relationship with the characters on screen and the circumstances that they find themselves in. And I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. There is a really nice simplicity to this movie, and I feel like it comes across really, really well. The only negative thing that I really have to say about this movie is the possession scene. I know that I'm going to hear it all in the comments about how it's homage to the original film. All I have to say is that I don't really feel like this is the way we need to pay homage to the original film. Other than that, the directing in this movie was really solid, really good. The shot composition is great. I'm coming in at an 8.8.
Yeah, I loved the directing of this movie. I haven't seen any other films by Fede Alvarez, but I am absolutely going to watch them after having seen this one, because I can tell that he truly cared about the movie that he was making. He wasn't just here to get a check, and he wasn't just here to make his name big off of a famous franchise already. He truly wanted to make a good Evil Dead movie, and he absolutely did that. Definitely took a dock from not changing the possession scene. Again, there's 10,000 different ways we could have done that, and the film still has plenty of homage to the original without it. I'm giving the directing an 8.9. Onto the writing of the movie, and honestly, I love the writing of this movie. It gives us just the exact amount of plot that you need in a horror movie of this kind. There's just enough to motivate the characters without scenes that slow down the pacing of the film, giving us exposition. And they also give us the perfect amount of exposition in what is one of my favorite pre-title drop sequences in any horror movie. This movie sets us up with a fantastic, scary introduction. Boom, title drop, Evil Dead, incredible. It also has the perfect runtime. I've stated on this show a couple of times now, I think, actually, that every horror movie needs to earn every single second over 90 minutes, and this movie only runs about 3 or 4 minutes over, depending on which cut you watch. And it earns every single second of that without question. I'm giving the writing of this film a 9.7.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Kyle just said. I honestly think that this movie has some of the best plot armor for a horror movie that I've ever seen in my life. Mia detoxing is so good for this film because they're not going to let her leave. I love the writing in this movie. I just wish that some characters got a little bit more plot development. So I'm going to come in a little lower at a 9.1. And now moving on to the cinematography in this movie. And folks, I'm not kidding when I say this. I love the cinematography in this movie. And I'm going to start talking about the cinematography of this movie by starting at the end of this movie with the blood rain sequence. I swear to God, from the moment that drop of blood lands in Mia's hand until the end of that movie, it's one of the best sequences in horror that I think I've ever seen. It is iconic. It is the culmination of that entire movie. Everything builds to that point, and the cinematography raises it all the way up to a 10 and 11, in my personal opinion. Fun fact, this is one of those movies where it was a rare instance. This does not happen very often, but they filmed this movie mostly in sequential order for about 90% of the movie. And the reason for that is what Kyle mentioned in our intro. Because the effects were practical, they needed to film this movie in sequential order because that house gets messed up the entire movie. If you've seen this movie, you know exactly what we're talking about. So really interesting filmmaking process, really good cinematography. I am coming in at what I expect is the video's first 10 out of 10.
I agree with Arden. The cinematography in this movie is stunning. You get what I think is one of my favorite shots in all of horror, up there with the Exorcist shot that is right behind Arden there, the Exorcist lamppost shot when possessed Mia is looking out from under the stairs. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
I want a poster of that shot. You know, it's so amazing. I specifically want to shout out the lighting in this movie as well. They do a really, really good job. This movie was shot over about 70 days. Most of those were at night. And despite that, you can see everything that's going on. This was pre everything being too dark to see, and you can actually make a distinction between what is happening in the night shots. And I appreciate that so much. It's coming in just under perfect for me. I'm giving it a 9.9. And the music and sound was also really, really effective in this movie. Like I said in the introduction, spine tingling for the soundtrack. Specifically, I love, again, the song underscoring the prologue is really effective. There's a jump scare. Arden and I were listening to it as we were writing this outline, and it got both of us on now the third time around for Arden. The sound effects also were exactly what I wanted. Again, I specifically want to shout out the bathroom scene. Every single sound in that it sounds real. It's in universe. It's really good. Between the dripping water on the light bulb and her sawing her cheek off with a piece of broken mirror, you can absolutely hear it and feel it. And it is amazing. I'm giving the music and sound a 9.6.
I agree with Kyle wholeheartedly on this opinion. I'll say it this way. Every single sound effect in this movie is the correct sound effect. It is the appropriate sound effect for what is happening in the moment. I loved the music and the sound design in this movie. I'm coming in at a 9.5. However, I do feel like this leads us to a very important question, which we ask during every single movie review. Kyle, my friend, anything from this movie making it on your playlist?
Well, Arden, it's funny that you ask that, actually. Having promised it for a month now, at least. I'm sorry, guys. We sat down and Arden put my ass in a chair and made me make the playlist. So it exists now. It's going to be linked in the description. And yes, this movie absolutely makes the playlist for sure.
And now moving on to the acting in this film. And remember, folks, when we talk about acting as a category, we're talking about the group effort. And if we're talking about the group effort in this movie, I gotta say, the folks who are pulling the most weight are the women in this movie, especially when they are possessed or they are in the process of getting possessed, i.e., Natalie's arm. I also want to highlight the physicality of every single actor who played a Deadite, and also the physicality of the actress who played the Beast in the Blood Rain section of the film. The physicality in this movie was absolutely spot on. Fede Alvarez spoke about how he wanted the movement of those characters to look as unnatural as possible, and goddamn, they did it. Also, while we're here talking about the acting, Kyle has brought this up multiple times, and it's because she is amazing. Shout out to Phoenix Connolly, who plays the girl in the prologue in this movie. Her performance is kind of unreal. For being in the first 4 minutes of a horror film, I don't really think you can do it better. I liked the acting in this movie a lot. It's not quite crossing the threshold into a 9, so I'm coming in at an 8.9 for you folks tonight.
Agreed. We're not quite over the threshold into a 9. The acting is really, really good. There are some really standout moments in this movie. But again, as a group effort, there's definitely a little bit of room for improvement. By no means any bad performances here, though. I'm giving the acting an 8.8. And folks, folks, let me tell you something. The effects for this movie
Have you ever had a dream that you
are some of the best practical effects in any horror movie ever made. The team that came together between the practical effects and the little bit of CGI touch-up that they did, because there's a little bit there, but it's there as touch-up. It's there to remove some wires and things like that, which fully acceptable. If everything down to the blood rain is practical, they used 60,000 gallons of the 70,000 gallons of blood used during this movie in the blood rain sequence. It's amazing. We are nothing but on the record on this show that practical effects are the only way to go. And this movie is genuinely the example of why that is. There's so many moments where it would have been either easier or cheaper maybe to just CGI some of this stuff. But a couple of the actors said in some of the behind the scenes interviews that it wouldn't have been possible for them to give the performances that they gave if they were just green screening these things in. And they're absolutely correct. No single mark against this movie on the effects. 10 out of 10.
I truly don't think I could have said it any better than what Kyle just said. The only movie that even comes close to rivaling the practical effects of this movie in my mind is The Thing from 1982, which we have talked about on the channel. Go watch that video. I am also going to come in at a 10 out of 10. I love these effects. And now, folks, it's time to talk about the vibe in this movie. And the vibe in this movie is immaculate, folks. I mean, you want to talk about a cabin in the woods? I got a cabin in the woods for you in this movie. And the cabin really does help contribute to the vibe. Even like the layout, the fact that there's like that trap door that leads to the basement, like it all accentuates what's going on in the film. Again, kind of going back to the cinematography a little bit, but like the imagery in this movie is just so striking, and it raises the entire vibe of the movie up. I love the vibes in this movie. I'm going to give it another 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, really, the vibes in this movie are one of the threads that really just tie that entire package together. You can't you can't have the kills in this movie, you can't have the effects in this movie without the vibe of this movie. And they nailed it on the head.
Oh, Kyle, stop it.
The vibes are a 10, absolutely. And Arden, that leads me to the question. Can you put this movie on at a Halloween party?
I feel like I want to say yes, but I think that this movie is too good to put on at the Halloween party. I feel like if you and I were throwing this Halloween party, it would transform from a Halloween party into a we are now watching Evil Dead 2013 party. You know what I mean?
I mean, you are absolutely right. This movie sucks you in. Like, you cannot have this on in the background. It will force itself into the foreground. I kind of agree. I think it's too powerful to put on at the Halloween party. And maybe one of the most coveted categories on the Backass Words channel, the scares and kills. And guys, I want you to sit down, because the scares and kills in this movie set the bar for scares and kills in a horror movie. It's what Arden and I compare the kills in other horror movies to. It is literally the bar. You feel every single punch, bite, stab, and scream in this movie. The pacing is perfect. It does not give you a second to breathe between kills. And I cannot imagine a movie doing it better. And so Arden, get us both on screen here. Because I do think it's special. I want us to present this together. Arden and I both agree the scares and kills in this movie get an 11 out of 10.
Yes. This is the first time in our channel's history that we are giving out an 11 out of 10 to a category. What a special occasion, and the scares and the kills in this movie definitely deserve it.
I can't think of a more deserving first 11, honestly.
No. If it was going to happen to any movie, it would have been this one.
Yes.
And now moving on to our special category for this film, which we pick for every film and for every film franchise. And I don't know if you folks know this, but this is a film franchise. And so for every single Evil Dead movie that we review on the channel, we will be rating the design of the Necronomicon that appears in that movie. And here's the thing about the Necronomicon in this movie. It's not the Necronomicon, folks. It's not. It's called the Naturum Demonto. And I'm pretty sure I didn't say that right.
The Naturum Demonto.
Exactly. That's why I full stopped them right after I said it. Oh, and overall, I will say I do like the Naturum Demonto in this film, the Necronomicon of this film. They say in the film that it's supposed to be made with like human skin and muscle sinew, and I gotta say, I gotta give credit where credit is due. It looks like it's made out of human skin and muscle sinew. I really, really liked the Necronomicon design in this movie. I'm going to come in at a 9.3, a strong showing for our first Evil Dead Necronomicon.
Yeah, the Necronomicon in this film is really cool. This movie is a little bit more grounded in a lot of ways than the original is. And so this book fits that vibe a lot more than the original one does. My only real complaint is that I wish we got to see more of the inside and maybe even some longer shots of the parts that we did get to see, because the drawings were really, really cool and really, really well done. I want to find a copy of it, honestly, and buy it because it's super cool. I'm also going to give this Necronomicon a 9.3. And folks, roll out the red carpet, because this brings us to our awards for this film. And as always, we are going to start off awards season with the best performance. And I don't think anyone would argue about us giving the best performance award to Jane Levy, the woman that she is. Oh my goodness. At the very least, top 5 Scream Queens, if not top Scream Queen. Her performance in this movie, I frankly think that she got snubbed for at least not getting an Oscar nomination. I know Arden would agree. The scene where she's talking with her brother right after the possession, the fear that she is able to portray in that scene is award worthy. She should have gotten an award. And so we're giving it to her now.
You have to get me out of here. You don't understand. There was something in the woods, David.
And now, folks, moving on to what is perhaps the most coveted award on the Back Asswards Boys channel, and that is our Best Effect Award. And folks, I gotta be honest with you guys tonight. This might have been not only the longest, but perhaps the most thoughtful and intense conversation that Kyle and I have ever had to have in regards to picking a best effect for a film, because there are so many good effects. However, we did narrow it down to one, and that is Natalie cutting off her arm, dude. Like,
Or just roll that beautiful
I'm just
uncut
gonna
footage right here.
I'm just gonna roll it right here.
And usually, in a normal movie, you will cut away, you will do some kind of trick, and we knew we didn't want to do it that way, and we want to go just one shot, long shot, see the real arm there, and see how she goes for it. So, and that's the shot I done in the movie, and I think it's one of the best shots in the movie is when she really cut her arm off out of nowhere. She put the knife on her arm, and it's just disturbing.
Fuck you. Stop it.
Dude, literally don't understand how you could do it better than that. We watched the behind the scenes where they were like, this is how we did it. It looks so good in the final cut. It's unreal. It absolutely deserves the Best Effect Award tonight.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and do some math, and we will be right back.
5 hours later.
And we're back. Hello. Now, of course, you guys obviously were keeping track along at home, so you already know the answer to this question. I came in at a 9.7 rounded up.
And I came in at a 9.6, and I had to round down. I didn't have the option to round up.
And again, you can do some pretty easy math there to get our average score of a 9.65. And again, for those of you keeping track at home, that means we have a new #1 movie. And honestly, I don't know when something is going to dethrone this. It's going to be a hot minute here. Shockingly, IMDb is at a 6.8 and a Rotten Tomatoes is at a 64% for this movie. Critics were definitely rather mixed on this one, especially upon release. But I think this movie, if anything, has aged really well. It's over a decade old at this point, and it holds up against a lot of even modern horror, in my opinion.
Yes. And just to speak to what Kyle was saying, the fact that this is our new #1 spot on our ratings list, a 9.65, that is so hard to achieve via our rating scale. So I think Evil Dead's going to be sticking around for a long time. If you folks have a suggestion for a movie that you think might be above a 9.65, go ahead and drop that in the comments. We'll check it out.
Yeah, and I know that some of you nerds are absolutely going to disagree with us about this rating. So come at me. Come at me in the comments, bro. I'm not going to say anything, but go ahead and comment. Go ahead and let us know what you think. Let us know how wrong we were about this rating. For real though, guys, thank you for watching this week's review. If you did like it, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't like it, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you thought.
And if you want our full thoughts on the film, and this is also actually happening now, folks, you can finally check out the Back Asswards podcast episode for this film. Go listen to it. You get our full thoughts over there.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Arden, and we'll see you next week.
Stay safe.
Stay weird.
Okay. I brush my teeth.
Now I can feel the wind on my chin, brother. Finally, again.
You're a free bird, one might say.
A 4-minute guitar solo definitely sums up this quarter life crisis ass mustache.
Hey, you said it, not me. But now that you brought it up, you want to maybe pause the recording for a second?
Oh, God.